Ja, bei uns geht es jetzt weiter mit einer Sache, die wir gestern auch schon hatten, und zwar der Startup Competition. Wir haben ja hier ein großes Projekt am Start. Ich weiß nicht, wer es mitbekommen hat, gestern schon. Wir arbeiten da ja mit dem ersten FC Köln, auch mit Hype Innovations zusammen und werden heute auch wieder einige neue Startups hier auf der Bühne sehen, die sich auf der einen Seite präsentieren und dann von Juroren, die hier schon mal auf der Seite Platz nehmen, bewertet werden. Und ich halte mich da komplett raus. Ich übergebe das Wort an Peter Frost. Herzlich willkommen bei uns auf der Bühne beim Sprobis 2019.
Good morning. So first of all, we'll be switching to English from now on. Hopefully that's okay for everyone. Feels weird up here because there's always someone on my back, but that's exactly how founders from startups feel. So a warm welcome on behalf of Hype Sports Innovation. We will present you today a series of startups that have been through the program of Hype, and these are all companies that want to change the world of sports with technology, innovation, media, fan retention. So there will be 8 of them. But before we go into that, let me tell you who will be evaluating, and let me brief you, introduce you to the judges who we have, who are sitting right here. So let me start off with Bernd Wahler. Bernd is chairman of the board of Hype Sports Innovation, and he is that because he's an ex-CEO from Adidas and a former president of VfB Stuttgart, which some of you may have heard of, even here in Düsseldorf. Then we'll just keep in that order. Oke Göttlich. There's Oke, president of St. Pauli. We have the founder of Blackroll, Jürgen Dürr, which is here with us. Federico Weiner, head of entertainment industries, EMEA from SAP. We have Jochen Röttgermann. Jochen, executive board member of marketing and sales at VfB Stuttgart. Amir Rave. Amir, there you go, founder and president of Hype Sports Innovation. Amir will be giving you a little introduction to what Hype Sports Innovation does later on, whilst the juries convene for their verdict. We have Franz Koch von OneFootball over here. Christoph Winterling, commercial marketing director of FC Bologna. And then we have Ruth Kramer, who's coach, startup mentor, and they will have the toughest job for today. So we'll get things going. The first company that we'll be presenting is Talkabot, and they're looking to introduce you to an intelligent way to interact with fans to increase engagement. So a warm round of applause for Ilan Lightsgold, please.
Hello? This is not a warm applause. Guys, good morning, Düsseldorf. Let me hear you. Hello, everybody. Let's start. My name is Ilan, and I'd like to talk to you about Talkabot. Better yet, let's talk about fan engagement. Fan engagement is the fuel of the entire sports and entertainment industry. It feeds off the emotional connection between fans and their beloved teams, players and idols, and makes them want to be associated with anything that is related to them. Like in this
Okay.
case.
We wanted Bernd to say a few things.
Talkabot is the world's first really intelligent fan engagement and monetization platform. What we do is turn the excitement and loyalty of fans into revenue. We have cracked this equation by our algorithm that is creating in real time content that is in the most relevant context and timing, brings maximum engagement and maximum monetization. Let me jump into our example of our implementation around Facebook Messenger chat. We're available also on the web, on apps, and we're going to all the social networks. So this can be one of our customers. Meet Winterfell United. Some of you may smile now. Winterfell United is a football club. They have a lot of fans. And they will get from Talkabout a white label branded virtual friend to distribute to their fans. Speaking of which, this is Dave. He's a big fan. He goes to many of their games. He likes the star of the team. He likes the team. He bets once in a while. He likes beer. He likes pizza. But the club knows almost nothing about him. So to get him on board, Dave will get a link in the social media of the club, and one link, one click, no downloads, no setup. He's getting the experience. On game day, Talkabout knows on one hand the timing of the game and knows his favorites and preferences on the other hand. Talkabout will start interacting with him with our cool content in the right context and timing, and it's personalized. So the more he interacts with the system, the more the club learns and knows about him, and then can interact with him better. Talkabout will also give him new ways to explore and discover content by just asking Talkabout about his favorite players playing or not, getting content that he needs. Now we're friendly and nice and cool, so we were able to ask him also, are you going to the game tonight? So this information, together with us knowing his preferences and favorites, will enable us in the right timing and context to create for him a personalized commercial offer, like in this case with the club's food sponsor, creating for him something that converts very, very well. And we see it in our project. A very good example of this is in the betting domain, creating contextual betting offers, personalized to what's going on the pitch, converts terrifically with our customers nowadays. So our big data system, along with our ability to react to real-life events, will enable us to create engagement data, but also to promote the likes of merchandise, like offering the shirt of the player that just scored automatically, or media content that can be distributed in the right timing and context. And any football experience is only complete when you do it with your friends. So Talkabout enables you to do it with them in an intimate social experience, which is much more appropriate for football fans that want to enjoy football with their friends rather than with the 100,000 of fans around the world and just trash talk and compete with them, etc. Right, so not a lot of time. The numbers speak for themselves. We have very good conversion rate, both on the CTR level and on the financial level. We have quite a few customers, hopefully after the Spobis even more. And our innovation, I hope you have time to ask about it, is also in our business model, which combines the value for the club that brings the marketing and the fans, Talkabout that brings the engagement, the technology, and the content, and the commercial partners that can bring the financial value to this. We will be available on all social platforms, and we'll be able to serve everybody in the sports and entertainment domain. And let's hope that really, really soon, everybody will talk about it. Thank you. Right on time.
Wow, perfect timing.
Wow.
Thank you, Ilan.
I'm amazed.
So, favorite team?
Favorite team? Maccabi Haifa.
Favorite player?
Favorite player? All right, thank you so much. Favorite
And favorite
player?
food?
Mo Salah.
I just want your fan ticket. Okay, good. So, questions.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
You said a lot of times like that it converts, that your ads convert so well. So can you give me a number?
Of course. I'll give you a number from our Bwin project. Bwin is a betting company that we've done a project during the World Cup, and now we're working with them over the...
Okay, give me your best number. Okay, give me your best number.
You want to give me the worst number?
An average one would
No,
be
so
better.
in the World Cup, for example, we had CTRs of around 30% with Bwin, and we had conversion of people that actually opened account through our system in their service of over 17%, which
17.
is... which they told us is very impressive, and that's why they're working with us again
But the
this year.
conversion of your ads, like how
Yeah.
many people buy who get the ads?
So that's what I'm saying. The people
okay.
that come through our system opened accounts with Bwin. It's 17% of the people that were interacting with Talkabout throughout the player.
They
throughout the
open
world.
it, but they don't buy it.
Invested money. No, they put money. They put money into their account. That's how you open a betting account, in general.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. That's it?
So what are your making money options? So there are two, I guess. Can you please make the business model a bit clearer to
Of
all?
course, yes. Thank you for this question. Our general idea is to give service to sports entities such as clubs, associations, etc., and bring over either our sponsors and commercial partners and theirs. And the money is made in a mix of three. One is a service license, a monthly service license. Two, a fee for premium content creation. And three, the most important one, a revenue share between the commercial partners, ourselves, and the clubs that are creating a win-win-win for everybody.
Okay, thank you very much,
Okay.
Ilan.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Good luck to all the others.
Okay, next up we have Kevin McLaughlin from Kiteman Labs. Give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. I don't have that. Ah.
Only two hands.
Morning, everyone. My name is Kevin McLaughlin, Kitman Labs. I'm a former professional rugby player. I played for my national team, Ireland, for the last 10 years. Had to retire a couple of years ago due to injury. Out of the 10 years of a career I had in rugby, I spent 5 years on the bench due to injury. So working for a company like Kitman Labs that specializes in turning data into insights to prevent injury and improve performance is something I'm very passionate about, and I hope this passion will come across in my presentation. Why do key players get injured all the time today? Why does Harry Kane this year get injured at a key stage of the season? The exact same thing happened for Tottenham last season when they were contenders in the league. We now know more about our players than we ever have been before. There's the ability to collect data on every single athlete, thousands of data points every day. We know more about them than we ever have before, or do we? Right now, we can tell that Harry Kane ran 10 kilometers yesterday. We can tell that he slept for 8 hours, but so what? What does that actually mean? The problem with data is that the problems that sports teams that are trying to solve are extremely complex. We know that human beings are complex. Performance is complex. The way individuals, players, athletes break and get injured is extremely complex. So using a binary approach by looking at the data that teams collected just simply isn't working. To give you a taste for just how complex this problem is, this is a team that Kitman Labs works with that collects the least amount of data. These guys collect 33 data points, perform 9 calculations on that across 8 timelines. And just based off those 33 data points, every time a player enters the field of play, there are 2,376 univariate possibilities for how they might get injured. If you believe that injuries are multifaceted, like the scientific approach would agree with today, there's almost 3 million multivariate possibilities for how they could get injured every day. What I'm saying to you, it's impossible for the human brain to look at data and comprehend the complexity involved. That is where Kitman Labs comes in. We have taken a contextual, multivariate, analytical approach, something that's incredibly complex, and made it contextual and simple for teams to use the insights we provide through our athlete management system day to day to manage their players better, to improve performance and reduce injury rate. It's so important to understand that the approach we take with every single team, with every single individual is different. There's no two people in this room right now that perform the same, get injured the same. And we apply a really, really bespoke and individualized approach with all the teams we work with. I'll give you a really quick example. Here's a Major League Soccer team we work with today. And they didn't understand how to manage the different cohorts of players they had within their squad. They're players who had a shorter preseason. They're players who were returning from World Cup duty in the summer. They're players who weren't as fit as others. They're players who were older from a demographic standpoint, guys over the age of 27. You can see we're all really high-risk category players for this team. And what we did is we allowed them to use their data to put very, very focused plans in place to reverse these injury strategies in a really, really focused soccer-specific way. The exact same team had a terrible trouble with hamstring injuries in 2017. They didn't know why. They had 1,000 data points in every player, but they had no idea why this was happening. we looked at the data, analyzed it, and turned it into something that they could use to prevent this from happening in 2019, to allow them to have a more intense preseason, get more exposure to high-speed running, and actually build up the resistance for the season through preseason training. And then finally, they knew game congestion impacted on risk. You can see here, fascinating, if they played 5 games in 15 days, they were 5 times more likely to get injured. And they believe this has to happen, they're playing more games. But what was actually happening is that they were having less intense training because of the intense game schedule, and as a result, the players were getting unfit during these periods and breaking down. They had the data, but they didn't understand. We allowed them to understand this and put preventative measures in place. So this is our approach around turning data into insights, is getting rapid adoption right across the world of sport today. We're working with some of the biggest brands because we're turning their data into insights they can use. We had 3x growth in 2018. We expect that to be 6x this year. And this is why. We're not just talking about providing insights. These leagues are talking about injury rates rising right across the world of sport today. We're having a real impact. American football, everyone's talking about injury rates. First year in working with the Buffalo Bills, we reduced their injury rate by 60%. Our approach is working, and we have validation of that. And then finally, we hire people with professional sporting backgrounds who played in sport, who've worked in sport, who understands the problems. And as a result, we're building solutions that map directly back to solving those problems in a really, really focused, strategic way. Thank you very much.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much. So, ex-rugby player, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. A beautiful example of how we can actually use innovation and technology to support, the analog human beings that we are, keeping them healthy and performing.
Thank you, Kevin. Impressive presentation. What's the business model behind? How do you license the software? Is it based on a monthly fee, or you base it on the number of players or the interactions inside the app? Thank you.
It's a SaaS-based model. It's an annual licensing fee. Typically, teams sign a 3-year deal with us, and they pay per squad. So if they've got just their senior team, it's X cost. If they want to bring on all their academy teams, it's an increased cost.
And are you integrating your system with other systems in the market to exchange the data via API?
Great question. Yeah, we built passive integrations with about 10 of the main third-party vendors: Catapult, StatSports, Amiga Wave, all the really key vendors. We've got a list of about 100, and we have a full-time integrations team building those passive integrations, because it has huge implications on data quality and ease of life in terms of getting data into our system for analysis.
And how do you work together with the teams on a daily basis? Do you have also people on ground working with the team?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways. Firstly, we work with them really intensely at the start to get set up the platform and the way they want to use it, to provide the insights back within our athlete management software so they can use it day to day. And then secondly, we have an in-app service so they can connect directly to our sports science team. People like Darcy Norman, who've worked for the DFB, who can get online and actually chat with them about best practice, how to use their data in the best possible way, and actually provide that consultancy hands-on service as well.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much. So we have 10 seconds. I need you to do something with this probably also German-based crowd. I don't know whether you know, but the German team was this close to actually joining the Rugby World Championship, which starts in September. I think the Canadians knocked them out. Why should the Germans be promoting rugby more?
Rugby is the best sport in the world.
Thank you.
Although my nose doesn't tell that picture.
Okay. Okay, next up on stage, we have the co-founder of AI Spotter. So please, a welcome of Anri.
Hello. Analyzing data takes a lot of time. Coaches have great data and lots of data files and videos. But this analysis takes a lot of time, which is both time-consuming and expensive. AI Spotter automatically breaks down your sport videos and combines them with your third-party data to break down the details of any game. Current video analytic tools are expensive, highly inaccurate, and largely manual. Coaches need to give objective feedback to their players as soon as possible between the game to improve the team performance. Imagine your team, FC Bologna or Köln Sharks in ice hockey. They have their quarterfinals and coaches need to analyze both own and opponent matches and also provide players personal feedback. This is 100 hours of work and the coaches have only few people to analyze it. AI Spotter can step in and shop this time from 10 hours to only 30 minutes. AI Spotter automates video clip production for coaches. It takes this time-consuming, tedious, expensive, manual process and shortens it under an hour. Coaches get an objective feedback, and this shortens their time to analyze videos inefficiently, and they can spend more time with their team. The market size is big, and if we put this in numbers, there are 265 million football players in the world, which means that we have more than 100 million football matches analyzed every year. AI Spotter is targeting sport analytics business, which is expected to be worth over 4.4 billion euros by 2021. And that time, AI Spotter is targeting 3 million sales. Our service scales to other sports and businesses. We sell our video analysis service for teams after every match. And our price start for teams and clubs 100 euros per one video analysis. AI Spotter is set up 2018. We are a spin-off from the University of Oulu. We analyzed last year over 200 matches, and we have three own piloting environments, both in indoor and outdoor football arenas, and also floorball arena, to get hands-on experience on camera setups and service process. And we have collaborated and done close cooperation and piloted with local and international teams. And yes, we have paying customers. And we continuously developing our intelligent AI platform, and we will have a new version of our service next month. Here are examples of our features, what we can provide for teams. We can combine various kinds of data with a video together. This is our plan for this year. Main points are we launch our new service platform and bring more intelligence for it. Have new customers and have funding. To take AI Spotter to next level, we need funding. That makes us possible to hire 3 to more new team members and expand to new markets. And also that will take us towards our big vision. In our team, we have deep knowledge of computer vision, business development, sales and data management, also sport coaching. In our sport-loving advisory board, they have hands-on experience on setting up companies and growing tech companies. Coach smarter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amri, from Finland.
Yeah. Yes, we are from Finland. Yeah. Yeah, very good in ice hockey.
So I'm looking at the coaches. I'm looking for those desperate to ask you a question. And the nice thing is if none of them have a question for you, you can ask them. But
I would have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Who are your core target customers and what does the business model actually look like in the end of the day?
Our goal customers, we are targeting customers in teams and sport teams and clubs. At first in Europe.
Any sports in particular?
We do ice hockey, football, and floorball at the moment. That's where we start. But our algorithm is scalable to other sports as well, like basketball, volleyball, you just name it. The developed algorithm make that possible to do.
And it's also software as a service business model?
Yes. Yeah, we sell analysis per one match, or we can do license models with customers.
Who you ever see as your major competitor in this market segment?
Yes, the competition situation is really interesting. There are big corporates and we as small startups. And big competitors are like Stats, Instat, Opta, and also smaller ones are coming. Some are coming from Sweden and from Russia.
Okay, Amarin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
From Finland, Sports Analytics. Up next, we have Frederick, Commercial Director from Payntech, leading company for provision of cashless payment solutions, so more of a commercial venture. Frederick, they're yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Frederick from Payntech. I come from Paris, and Payntech is a French company. So what are the three major pain points of stadium managers today? We have identified two that are strongly linked: cash and currencies management and security of point of sales, and of course fans that have a lot of cash on them, and also massive crowds during the game that makes it hard to propose a smooth customer experience in the stadium. So today's payment solutions can be improved. We have identified different existing cashless payment solutions like tokens, like handmade solutions that you can see on the right of the screen. And there are also NFC cashless payment solutions in certain stadiums in Germany, but that are not really efficient. So our solution is a state-of-the-art NFC cashless solution that is more powerful than the one that you may already know. So it works offline, first of all, so it makes it very resilient. It's more cost-effective, it's very light, easy to deploy. It's compliant with regulations in Europe, and it can be integrated in the existing systems like POS systems or information systems. Very quickly, how does it work for stadium managers and clubs? So first thing to do is to configure the solution on a very easy to use back office. Then the sales software is very easy to use, which allows our clients to make more sales during half times. And they get, at the end of the game, very qualified data on who bought which articles when during the game. And for the fans, we have also nice fancy features, like we give them the possibility to top up online or to ask for a refund online at the end of the game. And they have a smoother, of course, customer experience by paying either with their season ticket, either with a dedicated card during the game. So you may wonder who is using our solution now. In France, we have 15 plus stadiums using our solutions in all French sports, so rugby, football, handball, basketball. We also work with Le Mans racing track that you may know. And we also have many clients in the tourism and ski resorts area. And our ambition is to conquer the world, of course. Our solution is very light, very easy to deploy, so we can deploy it anywhere in the world very easily. We already have an international footprint. Our solution is deployed in 12 countries in 5 different continents. We even have clients in Tahiti, as you can see on the left. The society was created in 2010. We are around 40 co-workers. We handled 100 million euros flows, financial flows, in 2018, and we have raised 5.6 million euros. To finish, I'd like to add that we are already backed by strong institutions. So some of you may know Groupe Caisse des Dépôts, which is a French sovereign fund, which guarantees like a strong financial constitution of our solution. And we also have more corporate investors and individual investors that have taken part in great business stories like Contnickel that was bought more than 200 million euros by a bank, BNP Paribas in France. So thank you for your attention. I'm a bit scared with that, so I'm going to finish on this slide. Thank you for your attention.
There you go.
That was scary.
Frédéric, that was what?
Scary.
The scary with the, yeah. But you stopped in time, so the hole didn't open. Yeah, okay. Great. You have a question? Okay.
Hello, and can you say a little bit about the costs for stadiums or stadium managers to get your solution on the field in the stadiums?
Sure. So there is a setup fee, which consists of paying for the hardware, the NFC cards, plus the consultancy services that we provide to settle, let's say, an efficient cashless payment solutions. And then we charge a license fee, a monthly license fee, depending on the number of POS that are equipped in the stadium. So it really depends on the number of point of sales in the stadium.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would really like to know the numbers. Like, how much is it per POS in the stadium? What is the project-based setup fee? Like, yeah, how do you earn money? Like, what kind of money? Margin, maybe, but at least what you earn.
It really depends on the size of the stadium, but a POS license is 80 euros per month. So, to give you an idea, in France, a medium stadium, which is our client pays around 4,000 euros per month for our solution, plus a setup fee at the beginning of the year.
Thanks.
And are you taking a margin on every transaction which is happening, or is it just the setup fee and the license fees for the POS?
Just the setup fee plus the license fees. There is no additional fee linked to the amount of transactions that is managed by the system.
Okay, Frédéric, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone.
So from the commercial side, we're actually back to analytics, data intelligence. Please welcome Giels Brouwer from SciSports.
Hi, guys. Good morning. I'm from the Netherlands, so I brought an orange ball for you. I know we are not as decent in football anymore, but actually I was born with two passions. My first passion was for this ball. Actually a quite bigger ball, but was playing football. The second one is that I'm a huge game addict. So I'm basically a football nerd. And that's also how my journey started. I played the Dutch National Championships in FIFA, played too many hours in Football Manager. And in Football Manager, you can scout players from all over the world just from your computer. You can find the new Messi when he's still playing that competition. Just like when you go now to Serbia, you find Svetozar Markovic. He's a central back, great talent, so he'll be one to watch out for. Just like the Israeli player Manor Solomon, he's also doing a great job. But our goal was to build this game with real data. And that's what we started off 6 years ago. Building a game where we download or we buy all the data from other parties, and we make sure that clubs can easily understand the data. So if you bring like 30 pages of data to a club, to a coach, to a scout, he doesn't know what to do with it. And we try to scale that out all down to one number. When we started 6 years ago, I couldn't have imagined the amount of growth that we would emphasize. Right now we are with over 50 employees, Our revenue grows with 20% per month since we launched our platform in September 2017. And right now we are able to build the next solutions, but I'll get back to that later. But basically the most important thing that we always say, statistics are the input, data intelligence is the output. We don't care about the 100 million passes that we have in our database. We care about that one number that can help the club to buy the right player for the right price. And right now we already helped with the transfers of over 300 football players in the football industry. We have it all on one platform, so clubs can just buy the platform. It's a license fee, and with that you can scout players from all over the world. And that's basically how we rebuilt Football Manager. But we wanted to do more. Actually, Belgium is the first team in the world. I'm sorry for the French, but in the top of the FIFA World Ranking, they're still first. And Roberto Martinez asked us to join his technical staff during the World Cup. So during the World Cup, we provided them with all the insights about how they could beat their opponents, where the weaknesses were, how they could score goals, how to analyze all the coaches, what were their playing styles. And during the tournament, after they become third in the World Cup, they sent us a message which stated that we were vital in their success for the World Cup story. We also did another thing during the World Cup. We did our first media deal where we were in the Chinese state television. We provided them with the data intelligence. We were their partner for that. And over 1 billion Chinese people saw our hotness index that we built for them, so they could see which players were overperforming, which players were underperforming during the World Cup. But we already rebuilt Football Manager. But I also played a second game, which was FIFA. So we had the goal 3 years ago to also rebuild that game, because linear television is declining. And we thought, what if we could build a 3D representation of the game? And that's basically what Ball Jams does. We install 14 cameras on the pitch of a 4K resolution that fully automatically, so without any human operator, generates the data of all the players and the 3D data of the ball. We already saw Track 160 here on stage yesterday. They have a solution for that. The market is becoming crowded. But what we can see now is that we are totally the high-end solution in the market. What we can do is measure goal threat, agility of a player, viewing patterns. So even the clubs that sign, like a big Premier League club that already had a data provider for free, they bought our system so they can get entirely new data out of the system. For that, we have to process terabytes of data in real time. So we can process 90 minutes, 20 terabytes, and we can scale it down into just tangible metrics. We have many clients, but now we are in the top league, and we want to get down to make an index for everyone. And we signed our first deal for that. So in the future, we are now for the elite clients, but we want to build a size scale for everyone.
I think your time is over. I heard something. Okay, thank you very much. Good. So, yeah, real game, real data.
Where do you actually get the data from, and what do you do with the data? What's the brain behind?
We actually buy the data from Wisecout, which is an Italian data partner, and we build the algorithms on top of that. So our basic algorithm, which is called the size scale, calculates the influence of every player on the team. So how is a team performing when he's on the pitch? Are they better in attacking or better in defending? And that's also how we can estimate the outcome of the match based on the players that are on the pitch. And we also use that to outperform the bookmakers for a large scale of matches. And our latest innovation is basically a machine learning algorithm that quantifies the quality of every action on the pitch, which is the contribution of a pass for a goal within 15 seconds scored.
You said you have a license model. Can you explain that a little bit more to give us a point at how you earn money?
For a platform, it's pretty easy. Clubs pay between 1,500 and 3,500 euros a month. And for that, they can scout players from all over the world. Depends on the amount of users. So that's the basic information. The more sophisticated models, so for instance the media deals, those are overall 6-digit revenue deals just for a project.
Does your platform only have data, or you have also videos on your platform? And is it only football or also other sports?
It's only football till now. We don't have video. So basically we say you can flag the players with our platform, then watch them in Wisecout or Instead. But you can now cover the entire world. But you need a video platform as well. But we are for understanding all your data problems.
Okay. I was just wondering, so if you have the data on 2 teams, do you know who's going to win? Do they still have to play?
Yeah, we had the problem sometimes. Like when Ajax played against Heerenveen, 2 clients, but fortunately for us, Heerenveen won the first time and Ajax the second time.
Great. Thank you, Giels. Okay, we're now coming back to a company that's probably taking care of one of the major points of interest in the whole sports, which is the spectator. So come up here, Stefan Schürer from FanPictor, and explain how you're going to increase fan engagement.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Stefan. I'm the founder and CEO of FanPictor, a Swiss technology company. We are in a moment of time of full digital transformation, which is actually very exciting because it also shifts the power in sports, where it has winners and losers. When we look at some of the data in 2018, we had a shift of digital ad spending going 75% into mobile. Big brands like Adidas shifted their budget into mobile, and brands like AB are putting the importance and relevance on fan engagement with experiential experiences that can be shared on social channels. This gives us a huge opportunity in terms of data. When we look at demographics, geographic information, and engagement levels. And it's no surprise that big players like Amazon, Facebook, Google are going into that world because they can make money of it. But the rights holders, they have a challenge. Do they know their audience? Do they know how to monetize it? They can't afford to hire 10 data geeks to look at it or to have an algorithm doing that for them. So they need a solution provider to drive that fan engagement without that expense. So FanPictor has solutions to drive that engagement. And what we do, it's a white label technology embedded in apps on web and social channels with multiple solutions that can help teams and brands drive the engagement. So we are embedded in 20 teams in Europe, 2 NFL and 2 NFL teams in the US. And our solutions, like instant win game to raffle a prize, like a best player vote, like an all-star selection, really helps them drive that engagement. And to highlight one specific product, we just received a patent by the USPTO on that instant win game. So you have to imagine, before a game, phones blink. And after 20 seconds, less phones blink, and then we only have 4 winning phones left, and they get a prize like a seat upgrade. Or they can ask a first question in the press conference. So it's a unique experience, and everyone who participated gets a digital voucher on their phone that can be then redeemed at a retail store or the ticketing shop. So putting that into place, we are in the middle of that interaction between rights holders, brands, and agencies with the fan in the middle. And what we've proven that this is new in sponsorship inventory that can be immediately sold, that creates those emotions and provides an ROI on the data side. So here's an actual case. We worked with the NHL team, the Predators, for the first time in November last year. They used one of our products, and in that first month, they made an additional $15,000 US. How was that split? That was split on the sponsorship side. They involved Dr. Pepper. They paid on activation posts and the unique leads. Plus, the commercial team from the Predators used the unique leads to go out and sell business seats and tickets to first-time customers. Now in January, they signed up for a second product, and they are on the run till the end of the season in 7 months to make $120,000 additional dollars. So what are our goals now for this year? With EHF, we have worked last year on the Final Four and the Women's Championship. Now for this year's Final Four, we jointly value their digital inventory and sell it. In Swiss Ice Hockey, we managed to get a first 4-team brand deal where we are involved. Now we are working with an agency to do a league-wide presenting deal because we are embedded in all teams in the first division there. On the US side, we have the 2 teams in the NHL and NFL, and there we are looking for a brand now to have a multi-team deal like in Switzerland. And further, we have been so far in ice hockey, handball, tennis, rugby, but football we haven't been yet. So it's a big goal for us to have our first football client in 2019. And how are we going to do that? We have the team set up with Chris running our US office. Gemma is working with me alongside in Zurich as the CTO to do the new developments. And that makes us ready to go now on the football side. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Stefan, fan engagement. Do you have a question for the jury?
Yeah, we have 2 football representatives in the jury, so I'm definitely going to be interested in their view if they see a potential application for their teams.
I would say yes, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So, look forward to that. But we have a question from the jury.
Talking to you, and I think everything which helps to increase fan engagement and then getting more data about the fans and involve also sponsors is helpful, definitely.
And there was 0 installation.
It's a SDK package that
Right.
is integrated in the software.
Okay.
So it's white label. We help our clients to grow their brand. So it's a B2B product. We are just a provider to help them drive the traffic.
Good. Okay, Stefan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Barbara. Barbara from Vogo Sports, who will tell us a little bit about content-based and stream video production. Barbara.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Very happy to be here. Well, I guess you've all been to a football match, enjoying the atmosphere of the stadium, but at one point you were discussing with your friend and you missed the action or even the goal. What a frustration. Well, the good news is that, with Vogo Sport, this frustration is over. Vogo Sport is a live and replay video solution that is revolutionizing the experience of the spectators in the stadium. What does it do? It actually combines the atmosphere of the stadium with the comfort of a live and replay service. So what do? We give access to the spectators in the stadium on their smartphone to the TV camera feeds so that everybody can enjoy several angles of view on the match. And on each of the angles, he can, whenever he wants, come backwards to replay an action in normal speed or in slow motion. He can also zoom, pause. So every spectator gets closer to the action and becomes actually actor of what he's watching in the stadium. To illustrate that, just a quick extract of a match, France against Italy, just before the World Cup. And you're going to see France just hit a goal. And here we see a spectator in the grandstand with a tablet with Vogo Sport solution. And he's actually will come backwards on the action to review the goal in slow motion. So you see here, players are going back in the middle of the pitch. And on the tablet, I've come backwards, I activate slow motion. And I can review in details the goal. And if I want to do it 50 times, I can do it 50 times. And I can do it from the different angles of view of the camera around the pitch. So I'm getting closer to the action. So at that point, you're going to tell me, this doesn't work. Because very often in stadium, there are connectivity problems. Sometimes you can't even send an SMS. So don't ever think about watching a video. Well, what we have done is that we have developed a technology that we have patented that is broadcasting the camera feeds through Wi-Fi network with a multicast technology. So we push all these feeds to everybody's smartphone once, and then everything will happen in your smartphone. So that makes the technology independent on the number of people and working smoothly and with great fluidity, whatever the number of people using it in the stadium. So what do we provide in Vogo Sport Solution? Of course, the live feeds from the match. That's why you are there in the stadium. But we can also enrich the spectators' experience with additional content, like, for example, live statistics, highlights, interviews. Of course, we can associate sponsors and brands to the service. We can integrate their logo in the app. We can dedicate a feed to the sponsor with like brand content. And the brand can position itself as offering this innovative service to the fans. So where do we stand today? So Vogo Sport has been created in 2013. We have today over 60 major clients worldwide, and we have covered more than 700 events. Our clients are event organizers, clubs, federations, leagues, also sport venues, and in particular in football, we're working with the French Federation, with the French League, several clubs in Italy, in Canada, not yet in Germany, so we would be happy to start after this POBIS to work in Germany as well. What is our ambition? Actually, the market is huge. There are every year more than 1,000 major sports events worldwide and more than 600 championships, which represent more than 500 million euro markets. So our ambition is to achieve 10 million turnover in 2020 and around 50 million in 2023. So how are we going to do that? Actually, last November, we achieved the IPO of the company. We raised 13.5 million euro. And how are we going to use that? Two main growth levers. The first one is to expand our technology gap in terms of development. And the second one is to ramp up the global commercial development of the company. We have already activities all over Europe, in the US, in Asia, but not yet in Germany. And so we would be very happy after this fair to start working with clubs, with maybe Deutsche Football League, and find a distributor also in Germany. So thank you very much for attention.
Thank you very much, Barbara. So not yet in Germany. Für die Deutschen hier, noch nicht in Deutschland. Barbara, okay. So go ahead.
Barbara, thank you. I imagine that some of the clubs are offering this as a VIP experience to their spectators. So can you explain a little bit the business models? Not that I imagine you are B2B, but what the clubs are implementing Vogo to their spectators, fans?
Yes, well, basically you can offer the service all over the stadium, but you can also segment your stadium and say this is a service that I dedicate only to VIP. So you offer the service, for example, only in the lounges. And what we do now also is that we set up in the lounges large touch screen where you can have the feeds from Vogo. And you can actually tag actions so that, for example, after the match, you can organize animation with like an ex-player or journalist commenting and redoing the match for the VIP guests.
When it comes to rights issues, are there any? Because, I mean, it's a live game and potential rights owners are maybe not liking that there is...
Yeah, that's an excellent question. That's usually the first question I get. Well, what we do, our technology, as we broadcast through Wi-Fi network, we really stay in stadium. So the feeds are only available for the people who have paid a ticket and who are inside the venue. And so we're not competing with the broadcasters, because broadcasters are serving the people at home or outside the stadium. And whenever a spectator leaves the stadium, he loses all the feeds. So we really in-stadium experience.
Thank you.
So, Barbara,
okay,
tell me again, who do you want to meet here at POBIS?
Well, German football clubs or other sports club, Deutsche Football League, broadcasters. We're working with broadcasters in France as well who integrate that in their own app. So that's also a market opportunity.
Okay, they're here. They'll find you. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. So, as it is said, last but not least, we have Markus Kern, founder and CEO of Fun with Balls. I'm very excited to hear what you're going to tell us about, Markus. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So, hello everybody, I'm Markus. I have a company called Fun with Balls. Yes, the name is quite funny and that's the reason why we chose it. I'm going to show you why. I started in advertising and branding, basically, doing a lot of big shows for a lot of big companies, spending big branding budgets and having a lot of fun internationally on that. But at some point I realized I want to do something that's a little bit more meaningful or do something that's not just the next pitch. So who knows what number that is? What is it called? Okay guys, that's a trillion. 2.4 trillion is basically the money that is spent on obesity within the next 15 years per year worldwide, meaning just the effects of people not getting their ass up. So I thought, okay, that's kind of an interesting topic, built up a team and was like, okay, we have that problem. People don't do enough sports. Adults, kids. Nowadays, with our digital future, it's so hard to get people just out of their screens, out of their home to actually do something. Then we said, okay, how do we do this? Well, there's sports tech, okay? Problem with sports tech and all the stuff that we've seen is really amazing. I'm just going to say it out loud. It's not going to help because you all take care of the people when they're in the sport, when they're watching the sport, when they're playing tennis. You have a smart racket. It's going to make it nicer. You're probably going to be using it for 1 or 2 months. Watch some data on a list and then, well, it's not going to make a kid jump up in the morning going, Mom, I want to do that. So we focused on this and we thought, okay, we have to go a little bit deeper than just delivering a product. So we focused on delivering a full solution and a business model. Basically what we're trying to do is we have a massively big problem. We're not going to solve it like that. So we don't believe in gimmicks. We don't believe in let's make things a little bit nicer. We believe like let's change the whole thing. We believe in fun, and that was right in the presentation that I sent, but you get the point. This is what we do. That video should have played too. Okay, I'm going to just go. We create big systems that are a little bit harder to integrate than just a watch. So we go into locations, we offer them upgrade that squash court, update that gym, and we fill it with sensors, we fill it with projections, and we have video games all over the place. Meaning like the kid is not playing football and we analyze it, the kid is literally shooting the ball at monsters. He's playing Space Invaders. He's doing a competitive game where you play together against the system or together with the system. Everything in the room is tracked. Every ball is tracked. We know the speed of the ball. We know the speed of every person. We know how well they reacted. We can read out everything and we couldn't put it in one giant big computer game. It's really sad that you don't see this. I kindly ask you, check it out. Once you've seen it, this would have been so much better. We won a lot of prizes with our first product. We started in squash because it was very easy for us to integrate. Squash has a massive problem. Numbers have declined rapidly. There's a lot of squash centers. They're poorly used, like below 2 hours. We bring them up between 8 to 12 hours per day. We have 19,000 hours played so far. We have 20 centers around the world already. It all comes with the app. It all comes with analytics, everything that you know, but that's not the point. It just gets people moving. The second product that we just launched is a multi-ball. It's basically just a wall that you can put anywhere. It's super rigid. You can't break it, even if you try to hit it with an axe. It's made to be put in schools. It's made to be put in sports centers. Some restaurants are even getting it, hotels, and so on. So basically, whatever you have a white wall and you want people to have some fun, run around, play with it, that's the real deal. We don't actually have to install this. This is a product that we can just ship out. So the centers can build it up themselves, can manage it themselves, and so on. And it's ridiculously stupid. We call it the IKEA system because if you have a hotel, you want to have something where you don't have to brief your staff how to use it. This has been going really, really well for the last couple of weeks because we just launched it. We earn money 4 ways. We sell the hardware, we have the software as a service model, a marketplace and advertising, but much more importantly, we provide the full basic model. Like we don't give you like this is a product, we say this is going to save your center. We even have a buyback option now because we can guarantee that it's going to improve your business. If not, we take it back, no money. Next step, we scale up and go really, really big. We have 5 more sports. We're currently raising money. Since 2 weeks, we decided to basically take these numbers up a notch. So this is just the very beginning. And we just launched a very, very new branch, which is our own event branch where we're going to be working with large brands, how to bring sports and gamification on a much, much bigger scale. That's it for me. Oops. Nobody saw that, right?
Great. Thank you very much, Markus. I need you guys to see the video, because without that, it's really difficult. And I'll tell you something about the video afterwards. So do we have that right now?
Thank you so much.
Now, I have a question, because Markus said you came from advertising, but I noted that on your LinkedIn feed, you posted this video, and it had 500,000 impressions. So how did you get those?
To be honest, we don't have a fucking clue. Like, it's literally just, we got totally swarmed. We have a good mission. People know that the whole activity part is very, very important.
Okay.
Every sport has the problem that participation is declining, so I think it just hit the nerve.
So it seems people are attracted to what you do.
Yes, they luckily are, which makes that guy very, very sleepless because he's our sales manager.
Okay, great. Jury.
Yeah, I'm impressed about the presentation, and I think it's really interesting. What is the price point of a board, of a video board?
We have different price points. I mean, one thing that I like to mention, we're now going into more and more sports. The multi-ball is the very entry one. We sell it at 8,000 euros, which is going to come down with the time. No license fee, no installation, no nothing, because we try to keep that product as simple as possible. It's literally buy it, ship it, have it. The other ones are a little bit higher. They range between 15 to 33 grand, depending on how deep you want to go and how much you want to use it for the real pro analysis and everything.
Impressive presentation, Markus. I saw part of the video, you had something on the Olympics on Buenos Aires. So who are your main customers? Because literally this can be bought by a hotel or whoever else, but who are you focusing to sell the solution?
I mean, we're a B2B2C, so we focus on the operators first, the fitness chains, everybody. We're now having a nice deal with Center Parcs in the UK. Everybody that has a facility which is underused. And then we basically go in, then we also market it to the customers. Buenos Aires was important because we got chosen by the World Squash Federation to present their sport, and just as a showcase, and we basically were one of the 3 trending topics with the court, so.
Okay. And does that answer the questions? Because it's not just a leisure thing, right? It's also a training tool. Okay. So for those of you who play tennis, I think I spent the whole part of my youth hitting a ball against a wall, and I guess that would enhance that experience greatly. Right?
Probably would have met you here as a tennis pro today then.
Yes, yeah, I missed that. Okay. Thank you very much, Markus.
Thank you. And if anybody has partnerships, information, just reach out to me. Yeah?
Okay. Let me have the microphone. Thank you very much. Okay, that was it from the startups, but even more so, I'd like to ask Bernd Wahler to come up here on stage and just tell you a little bit about the engagement Spobis Hype Sports Innovation.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Peter. I think you all saw that the startups that we brought to the stage here, they actually solve problems, challenges that I think the sport ecosystem is facing on a daily basis. And that's what we do at Hype. We really want to impact people's lives through the power of sports and innovation. That's what we love. And what we do is we are the biggest platform for startups. Right now we have about 11,000 around the world. And with the startups, we really want to benefit the sports ecosystem, whether that's sport clubs, federations, whether that's sport brands, whether it's investors, because you can talk to all the startups. What they need is connections to great clubs and brands, and also they are normally looking for money, and therefore we at Hype also service investors, and Amir later will talk more about Hype and the fund that we are raising right now. I also want to take this opportunity to really thank Spobis for working together. They have been a fantastic partner, and I'm very impressed to see how the format is changing over the years and constantly adjusting, I think, to the needs in the world of sports. And it's a great partnership. Thanks a lot. Also, FC Cologne. I mean, we started the first accelerator here in Germany with FC Köln, and they are a great partner. We now run 12 accelerators around the world, and I think it was time to also do the first one here in Germany, and I'm sure it will not be the last one. There are lots of opportunities, and all the clubs and brands, they are focusing in different areas, and there is room for more, and I'm really looking forward to that. We, the jury, will go into a separate room, really talk about the startups that we have seen, and then we will come back and announce the winner. So I really want to thank all of you for listening, participating, and also Peter for you for your moderation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Bernd. So, off you go. You have a job to do. And whilst the jury is, evaluating, discussing, fighting each other on who's going to be given the award later on, let me introduce you to Amir Raveh, who will tell you a little bit in more detail what Hype Sports Innovation is up to.
Thank you, Peter. I think I'm
okay.
also...
A little round of applause, please.
Hey.
Thank you.
All the way from Tel Aviv. Morning, good afternoon in a couple of hours. First of all, I want to, while the jury is now sitting and choosing the winner, and like in sports, there has to be a winner. And the startups know that, and we're looking forward to hear their overall decision. I want to share with you in the next 10 minutes a little bit about the opportunity in sports innovation overall. Because, I'm in the wrong side of the 50s, as they say, and I've been around to know that there are highs and lows in business, and I think what we can see now is a huge wave that is coming up in sports innovation. We can see the big clubs, the big partners, the big tech companies like the Facebook, the Amazon of the world getting into the sports tech industry, and there is a lot going on. I want to share with you a few slides, also share a little bit about who we are, and also an opportunity in terms of the fund. I think there are great startups that we are looking to invest in, which are within our ecosystem, and also some of them could be here in Spobis. About a few months ago, I met Philip Klotz from Sponsors. We had a good chat, and there was an opportunity to create here a global competition. Now, as you saw, there were 8 startups from 7 countries. And when we say startups, because there is different definition for startups. If you ask in Germany what is startups, if you ask in Silicon Valley, sometimes it's different. Startups for us are companies which are after validation. They have already success stories behind them. So they have a successful pilot with the DFB, or with bwin, or with anybody else. and then we can start work with them, implement, take them to the next level, give them one of our programs, invest in them, and take them to the right customer, the right strategic partners. There's an old saying, good entrepreneurs get selected by VCs, great entrepreneurs choose their own VCs. Some of the old people like me perhaps at least remember the stories. I hear that also today there are a lot of fights, even today, Twitter fights between British and Germans about, you know, where the goal was over the line or not in '66. No, we know that lack of technology, what was the impact then? Some of us saw this live, hands of God. Obviously the referee didn't. And today, and we saw this nicely in the World Cup, the technology is coming over. And VAR is just one aspect of it. The question is, what will be happening in the future? What will happen in 5 years' time? How are we going to experience sports? You know, my kids today are watching sports totally different to what to the way I do it. They have 3 screens. They see the Twitter of LeBron. They see all kinds of chats with friends. That's totally different social aspect of experience. So as Bernd said, our vision is to impact people's lives through the power of sports and innovation. The people behind Hype, there is a nice mixture, not easy always, between Germans and Israelis. A bit of a different culture, but we survived most of the board meetings so far. And by the way, you saw there Uli Becker, which was the president of Reebok, and also Dr. Hadar, which is a PhD for aerospace and fanatic about sports. My background, I used to be a football player, not that good apparently, but I then started my own company in London. I sold it after 6 years. Then I started a small investment house boutique, investing in startups, setting up accelerators around the world. Our last fund we've done about 4 times on the cash to our investors. And my big passion is sports and innovation. And I think for the first time in my life, I managed to combine my 2 greatest passions. Some of the numbers is Hype, as you can see, as Bernd mentioned. We have more than 10,000 startups. Yesterday we had a chat with one of the big clubs here, and they were surprised to hear that there are 10,000 startups in the sports tech industry. There are much more than that. In the last 4 years, we've done 30 global events. In each event, we have sometimes 400 to 500 startups applying. You see verticals like fan engagement, performance analytics, media. You see smart stadiums, e-sport, virtual reality. Huge, huge topics. I would say sports innovation is not a niche anymore. So overall, we would like to believe that Hype has quite a unique positioning in overlooking the market and having access on one hand to the greatest startups, but on the other hand to brands and clubs. And we can really work with that, solve the problems, or help the clubs and the brands solve their problems. And on the other hand, allow the startups, save them like 2-3 years by putting them in front of the decision makers and investing in them. Some of our partners, as you probably may know, and customers, as Bernd mentioned, we have currently 12 accelerators around the world, which are like the one we have here with FC Cologne, which are focusing on sports tech. Each accelerator is choosing their own focus. It could be focusing, for example, in Sweden with the Swedish Olympic Committee, it's more about Olympic sports. FC Cologne, there is a mix, but a lot of attention to media and content, and you know, this is a media center, big media center around here. And the beauty here that the partner can choose. And by the way, the business model is that we give tons of value to the startups, but we also have options to invest in those startups. So it's a win-win. So just pictures for some of the accelerators. Obviously, we are very proud of the one in FC Cologne, and I want to thank Mr. Alex Verle, Philip, Mary, and the amazing team and the amazing partners they are. Again, a lot of clubs would like to have their own accelerators, but they usually say to us, you do the accelerator, leave us alone. We are focusing on football, or handball, or basketball. The beauty in this combination, and I'm saying this also to the Köln team, is that there is a real intention of using innovation to change the experiences, to get performance better. And the different departments in the club are really involved in the implementation of that. As I mentioned, within the CRM, we have a lot of startups, so you can look at the different segments: esports, fan engagement, fitness, health, smart stadium, wearables, and others. I mentioned why now and why it's a good time to be involved in sports innovation and investing in sports. I would share, we call it the perfect storm. You know, perfect storm is usually when all the global aspects are coming together. There is a lot of, I would say, things that changed in the last few years that enable this industry now to boom. The first is the young generation, which is consuming sports totally different to what we have. And the brands and the club needs to understand it. As we saw some of the startups here, you have another, who would think when I was young to go to a match and not to put all your attention and to have another screen? It's what do you mean? Yeah. You know, so the young generation, the Gen Z as they call them, age 13 to 22, new ways of consuming sports, and this is changing. We see Amazon just got the rights for the US Open. We see Facebook bought the rights for the Premier League in Asia. The industry is moving and changing, and nobody wants to be the next Kodak. And we can see the shift in the mindset in the brands, which 3-4 years ago told us, no, thank you very much, we have all the expertise in our offices, we are the best in what we do. Now they say, guys, what is the world has to offer? Bring us those great minds, entrepreneurs from all over the world. We want to see, let's do a hackathon, let's do an accelerator, let's see what these guys can do. We see the internet shopping. I sat in a room in a class in US, I asked the people, how many of you bought sports shoes online? It was 3 years ago. 100% of the people raised their hands. What impact would this have on shops, on retail? This is all part of what's happening around us. And we can see the new emerging markets, the esports. We just saw new deals announced with esports, getting into clubs, getting into big brands. With the way, one of a Bundesliga team that we talked to are looking to use the esport to bring the young generation to the club. A lot of people are still thinking that this is two different worlds, but esport is a tool to bring the young generation, to connect between, father and his kids. More impacts of this we can see, again, on the social networks and the impact. I don't know if you remember, there was a game in the United States, in the NFL, where one of the players in the locker room was sitting with his video and playing live. And during the live Facebook, there was a lot of cursing in the background, and his manager was talking like dirty you wouldn't believe about the other team. And there was a big mess around that. And then it was identified that this player, Antonio Brown his name, is on a contract with Facebook of $500,000 a year to do 2 live sessions every month. Okay, the impact of sports, we see, Ronaldo statistics in terms of social media, etc. Who is bigger, Ronaldo or Juventus in terms of social media? The star or the club? Some of the deals you're familiar with, Peloton just raised money. Last valuation was about $4 billion. We see Fitbit transaction. We see 3D, a startup was sold to Intel, by the way, based in Tel Aviv, sold to Intel at $175 million. More and more deals are coming into this business, and big deals. Just to look at the figures, this was published by Deloitte. 2018, just in startups, investments in sport innovation, over $7 billion invested in startups. $7 billion just in 2018. This is the fastest growing industry in the sports tech. If you look at all verticals, as far as investment is concerned. Few words about our fund. As mentioned, most of the funds say that they have a great deal flow, but we've done it differently. We've created the deal flow first, and then we said, okay, now we get our friends and we put the money in and we invest in the right startups. And not only we can find the best startups, but we can also help them to go to the next level. So the startups are in the heart of our activities. Alongside that, we have our brands, our clubs, the different stakeholders. Then we have our services, which is the 12 accelerators around the world. We have different products and services like the Platinum Club for startups, where we actually take them hand in hand, invest in them, and also bring co-investors into the game. So all this creates, and if you ask about our business model, we are for-profit organization, yes? And we usually create our business model from a win-win, where we bring value to the startups, we get option to invest, and it's a win-win proposition. I would say, vanilla, if you ask me what are we investing in, we're looking for startups with a market cap of between $3 to $5 million, with, as I mentioned, full validation. So we are looking that you already created in your own efforts and entrepreneurial mindset at least 1 or 2 successful pilots. That also shows a lot about you. We are looking for a stamp or some kind of strategic partner, like you manage to enroll a big or medium-sized strategic partner to work with your product. It also demonstrates your capabilities. Because to be able to survive, be able to do that journey, I don't need to tell you. Yeah, that's the most amazing, but I believe the most difficult journey anybody can have in the business world. We are looking for a powerful team. As we know from our experience, sometimes businesses are getting, shaken up. You need to spin out. You need to change your business model. You need to change your product. A strong team that has a, I can see the jury coming back already. Peter, jury is coming back.
If you want to finish off, I think.
Yeah, they're ready?
They're ready. They're coming back. They need a little bit of time.
Okay.
Tough job.
Okay. So we're looking for a powerful team that will be able to survive those phases, the ups and downs, and to continue the leadership. And also, we are looking for startups that we can really feel that we can take them to the next level. We can really bring them to where they could be. We just launched our 3rd magazine, which you can see analysis, research about the sports tech industry. You can see great contributors. which are writing about how they look at focusing on investments. So this is on our booth, which is over there. Just to finalize, and perhaps on time, our vision is to impact people's lives, and I would like again to thank Shpobi sponsors for their leadership. I think bringing this global competition is works hand in hand with their objectives, and I think with the crowd here. And thank you all for listening.
Amir, stay here. So we'll get the whole jury up on stage. I don't know whether the crowd, do you have any favorites? I think it's a really tough job, and I think you're the smart one because you avoided the jury session. So let me have the jury up here on stage. I think extremely difficult. I don't even know whether we should be comparing what we are comparing. All sorts of different business models, different phases. I'm happy that I could stay here and I wasn't in your shoes.
Thank you, Peter. And yeah, as you said, it's not an easy decision, but we had constructive discussions, looked at all the startups. They were really addressing different challenges, different issues. But in the end, we all agreed on the one winner. And as you said, it's questionable. Do you even need to name a winner here? But it's about sports. It's about a competition. So we stood up to that. And very happy to announce who the winner is. Before I do that, thanks again to all the jury members. It was great to have you with us and to discuss with you. Thanks a lot. And the winner, looking at all the components that we looked at, from the business model, from the innovation strength, from the impact it can have in the world of sports, all together, looking at the team, which is also important to us. The winner is Fun with Balls.
Whoa! Marcus, congratulations. The last will be first. Any comments from the other judges, maybe? Congratulations, Marcus.
Where is Monica?
She's filming. She's the marketing.
Stop filming, come here.
She's way into the role.
Yeah. So, yes. Any questions?
Picture, maybe you're in the middle.
Yeah.
The winner's here.
Yeah, Peter, please. Now, let's do one with a bit of an energy.
Yes!
Yay!
Nice.
Okay. And a warm welcome to all the other teams as well, of course. Everyone contributed especially, and thanks for the judges for being here. And enjoy the last day of Spobis. Thank you very much. Thank you.